So it's Thursday the 16th of April and it's 7:30 on the dot, heading into the office at the moment. Now, I did actually take 2 trades yesterday. I took euro dollar shorts and pound yen shorts, and I woke up at about 5 a.m, which is something that I would never normally check charts when I wake up, but I woke up around 5 a.m and checked my MetaTrader. I was up like 3% in total. Man, that sun. I was up like 3% in total, but I decided I was too tired and I wasn't really in the correct mindset to manage or to make any adjustments to those trades. So for that reason, I just kind of I just left it. I said I'll check them when I get into the office, and I'll update you all live as I sort of as I see them. Now, I have nipped into the shop this morning as well for all you food pervs. Got some granola, the usual, pineapple, and some like chocolate rice cake type things. And then all you coffee fanatics are going to kill me, but some instant cappuccino. It's the best I can do right now. I guess that's what living on lockdown's all about. I can't get my cappuccino every day from the coffee shop, in the bottom of our building, so we're going the instant route. Apologies. I'm starting to look a bit like a homeless person. Hair's getting way too long, not really shaved or anything either, but I'll update you on those trades when I get into the office just before we have a sit down for a live call with the members. So before I actually dive into giving you a breakdown on these trades, I want to take this opportunity to talk just for a minute about accepting the risk when you're actually getting involved in a trade. Now, these markets are obviously very, very volatile, and there's so much opportunity within them. Now, the trade-off to having markets with so much opportunity to make money is there's a lot of opportunity to lose money as well, right? And when you enter a trade, it's going to go one way or the other. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. So technically, you actually have a 50% chance of just being wrong. And it's something that you need to accept is how much are you willing to lose here? We like to say 1% is a good amount to risk, relatively good reward if you have a good risk reward ratio. But the reason 1% is a sort of standout figure is you can be wrong 100 times without, before you actually lose all your money. And that helps a lot of people to know that, okay, I've been wrong twice in a row, big deal. I've been wrong 3 times in a row, 4 times in a row. It's really not that serious. And, when you calculate your risk and you calculate how much you're going to lose when that trade hits stop loss, you need to tell yourself, this is how much is on the line here, and you need to write that money off as if you've already lost it. Because if you can't do that, you can't move on, you can't progress. You'll be in a trade and you're just focused on that one trade. You won't get any work done. In my case, I'm in 2 trades here. Across those 2 trades, I have 1.5% risk. I'm happy to lose £1,500 today, right? So I can go on, I can answer my emails, I can manage YouTube comments, I can do client calls, I can do my one-to-ones. Absolutely fine, because I know I've already written that money off. If I check back and my P&L's positive and I'm making money, happy days. But I've written that money off already. And this is one of the reasons we advise our clients not to check trades first thing in the morning. Is it's almost like you're not accepting the risk. Now, I know I did it this morning. As I stated, that is something that's rare. I rarely check trades first thing in the morning. But if that's the first thing you want to check when you wake up, it's almost like psychologically you haven't accepted the risk. And it's another reason that we don't like to do the whole move stop loss to break even move, which I know is very, very popular in the trading community. But to me, that's just trading your P&L. Like, if you move your stop loss to break even, just so you can't lose money, then it's just because you're worried about the money, right? You've not accepted that risk. If you accept 1% risk on the trade and it goes up, let's say 1%, and you move your stop to entry, all you're saying is that you've not accepted that 1% risk. So many times I advise you to journal it yourself. In my own journaling, I've found that any time a trade stops me out of break even, 60% of the time it will run on to take profit. So actually, over time, moving stop loss to break even negatively affects my trades. There are times and circumstances where I think it is necessary. If there's high risk news or whatever, maybe you're going to sleep or getting on a flight, whatever. But in general, it's not something I do, and I think that comes back down to accepting the risk. Now, I'm going to jump onto the charts now and just give you a breakdown of these two positions. Okay, so euro dollar, very, very simple one. We have a significant level in here. We've got a previous high, previous low. We had price break through that 4-hour 50 EMA and this counter trend line, as well as that level. As soon as price stopped, we fibbed the leg from high to low, and we waited for a pullback on a 1 hour time frame into some prior structure where we actually got short. We then saw price through the Asia push down. This was at around 5 a.m. when I woke up, was just around here, and price was, things were actually looking really, really good. We were up nearly 2% on this, and then into this morning we're seeing a little bit of a reversal take place. Whether this actually has any upside in it or not remains to be seen. Hopefully we can just see this roll over from here. Going over onto pound yen is a little bit less hopeful in my opinion, but again the setup was not too dissimilar. We had price breakout of a previous significant low, and there was also a counter trend line in here as well. We also had it break the EMA. We simply fibbed the leg and shorted a pullback into that structure. Into the throughout the Asia last night, things were looking okay, and then we've kind of come up to this morning. We're just consolidating under this recent significant low. I'm in 0.5% on this, and I'm in 1% on euro dollar. So I'm not really overly fussed about what happens. I do think that there is a potential for pound yen to push up just a little bit higher, which would obviously take us out, but I'll keep you updated as we go. So in terms of P&L, you can see we're floating just under 0.5% at the minute, with both euro dollar positions in profit and pound yen just running in a little bit of loss there. So keep you updated on these throughout the day and let you know how we get on. So live call with the members is done, and I've spent the past hour breaking down one of our members' trading results. So he sent me over a spreadsheet of his results in backtesting on euro pound. So again, pair direction, entry date, stop loss size, and then screenshots as well. And I'm just breaking it down into a table that he can take away something from, he can learn some lessons from. So we find that in a lot of his losses, he's in the trade for less than a day. And in a lot of his losses, there is a present trend line that price hasn't reached yet before he actually takes the trade. There's another few things I've picked up on, such as, he's entered a trade here, a break and retest of this trend line here, and his stop loss isn't above the high. So when price comes up to actually test that trend line, he does get taken out. So there's a few things that we can actually look into here and really kind of dissect his journal basically, and give him some pointers to work on. This client in particular wants to become FTMO funded in the next few months and trade a funded account for them. So to pass the assessment, there are a few different things he's going to have to do, a few different objectives that you have to hit over the month that they run their assessment. So by the time he goes for that, we want him to be in as good a position as possible and as ready as he possibly can be. Prepare to fail, fail to prepare to fail, all that sort of stuff. So really getting him as much information as possible and trying to help him on his way to becoming funded. This is something that we're doing for members pretty much on a daily basis, going through the results with a fine-tooth comb and trying to help them refine their edge. So I'm going to get back onto this, and then I'll update you on euro dollar and pound yen after lunch. I'm going to go out and grab some lunch in just a minute, and then I'll update you on those trades when I come back. So it's just after 12:30 now. I've just got done going through that member's backtesting journal and breaking down his results. And now I'm going to head out and get lunch. I spent about half an hour replying to emails and YouTube comments as well. I thought that Q&A would lighten some of the load, but maybe it'll take a few days for that to sort of take effect as everybody gets around to watching it. Now, to give you an update on pound yen and euro pound. Pound yen is really struggling around this 134.40 handle, and euro dollar is struggling at this 4-hour counter trend line. We're floating just under 1% in profit, around £950 there. So typically every 2 to 3 hours I like to get out of the office, and whether that's going to grab some lunch or it's just going to take a break, grab a peppermint tea or a green tea or something, just get away from the screens, sort of recalibrate and refresh myself a little bit. So I'm going to nip round to Sainsbury's, probably take you with me and show you what's happening in the outside world at the minute. And then when we come back, we'll get onto some chart time, and then hopefully we can look to take some profit or secure some profit before we head home for the day. So I'll catch up with you in a little bit. This is definitely the busiest it's been in at least 3 weeks. This full street is normally totally empty, but as you can see, just cars everywhere, loads of people around as well. Quite bizarre. So for anyone who's interested, this is actually our building here. Okay, so I think this is definitely the least sad lunch of this series so far. Not a massive fan of San Pellegrino lemon, but they didn't have the orange or blood orange, so that's going to have to do. But anyway, I'm going to get on with eating this, and then we'll get back to the charts in just a minute. Okay, so you may have just seen I've actually cut both those trades early, and I'm going to get ready to head home now. So I've banked around about £2,000 for the day, which is around 2%. And I've been very open and transparent with my group. I'm just not feeling it today. It's 4 o'clock. I kind of want to head home, to be honest. I'm just not really feeling too solid in terms of my head game. And I'm more than happy to admit that to myself and quit while I'm ahead. I'm up more than 1 to 2 on my risk. So I'm more than happy to just take that profit and leave for the day. I've said to my group that both setups are still valid. If they want to hold them, they can feel free to do so, and I will talk them through it. But for now, I'm actually just calling it quits, getting flat on my account, and I'll come back strong probably tomorrow or Monday. So I'm going to continue this video into tomorrow or into Monday whenever I come back, and I'll catch up with you guys when that happens. Okay, so all in all, really good day. Just over 2% closed for the day. Decided to head home. It's now just after 5 PM. Got both those trades journaled, got all the members sort of filled in and debriefed on everything that went on in the markets today. And I know a lot of the members are actually still holding positions on euro dollar and pound yen, which they're going to hold potentially into the Asia session. But for me personally, I just wanted to be out and get out of the office and not really have to think about it. Obviously with we're gaining so many new members at the minute, and I'm just on top of emails, YouTube comments, Instagram messages, and to be honest, it's really, really overwhelming, and it can be quite difficult to manage that and trading at the same time. So if I feel like I need to shift my focus onto one or the other, I'm just doing that and trying to be as flexible as possible, obviously without violating any of my rules. So I'm going to head home now and possibly catch up with you tomorrow or on Monday. Cheers. Right, so it's Friday the 17th and it's just about 9:20. I've actually just arrived at the office. Now, last night it was announced that the UK is going to be in lockdown for a minimum of another 3 weeks, which it really came as no surprise to me, to be honest. However, I think that this will be crunch time for a lot of people. I think this is really when people should be saying, I've wasted the past few weeks in lockdown, I've not done very much. In the next 3 weeks, I'm really going to improve my performance in whatever aspect of your life that could be, but specifically with regards to trading. Maybe your risk management isn't so good, or maybe you trade too often, maybe you trade too large. Set yourself a goal for the next 3 weeks and say, okay, over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to improve this area of my trading or this area of my life, and just work towards it. You're never going to become a pro trader in 3 weeks, but you can massively improve a large part of your trading if you just focus those 3 weeks on that one specific thing. Instead of looking at the picture as a whole, actually focus in on some of the details and refine them whilst you have the time to do so. Now, obviously it's a bit later in the morning. I'm in the office a little bit later than normal, probably 2 hours late. But I've taken all the trades I wanted to take for the week and closed them out. Nothing in the markets has taken my fancy today, and I know that from my breakdown yesterday. So I've taken the trades I wanted to take and I've journaled them. Really, the purpose of today is to film a video breakdown of pound yen and euro dollar for this day in the life, and also to work on a few clients' journals. So something we like to do at the end of the week is I'll take the journal of a few clients' trades for the week, and we'll kind of look through it, review it, work out what they were doing right, what they were doing wrong, and give them some tips to take into next week. So I'm going to finish this cappuccino, and then we're going to get on with our live call for the morning, and I'll catch up with you when we're doing that trade breakdown. So I'm now going to take you through that trade on pound yen and the trade on euro dollar. I'm going to give you a full breakdown, and I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into my journal for April so far. Okay, so on the screen to my left, which is what you're looking at now, you should be able to see my journal for April so far. Now, I have only taken 4 trades, and my net profit, my net profit has been 5%, and my strike rate so far has been 100%. Now, I'll get on to showing you this on MetaTrader at some point in the video. I'll give you a breakdown of my week. That's around about £5,000. So, really, really solid month so far. Now, to get into the 2 trades that we were actually in on pound yen and on euro dollar, I'm going to break down euro dollar for you now. You'll notice earlier in the week we were actually long euro dollar up to this negative 27 fib target. You can see that here. So this was the before and the after, and then we took a slightly different approach on it. So using the replay tool, let me just remove some of this price action here. Looking at this 4-hour chart, I was interested in this area, right? This grey area would bought price up into this level. You can see the last significant low is marked out here. This sort of recent significant low here. We had a fib from this high to this low, and you can see price had come up into the region of that 61.8 and rejected some prior structure to the left. Now we had bought it from this level, as I've just shown you in my journal, and now we were looking to short it below this recent significant low here. So as I fast forward, Price gets below the recent significant low, it gets below that 4-hour 50 period moving average, and we were looking to short it upon the retest. Scaling in onto a 1-hour chart, we actually got short from this level with our stop loss above the 61.8 and above the 4-hour 50 EMA, which allowed price to effectively wick up, producing a pin bar wick up through this 50% up to the 61.8 into the EMA, and still leave us some breathing room between it and our stop loss before price then began to make its move to the downside. We saw some initial rejection at this trend line, and we saw price pull all the way back up just below entry. Now, I know many sort of groups, many educators or whatever, are a big fan of moving their stop loss to entry. However, in this situation, it would have actually lost us, it would have actually taken us out of break even, and we would have missed out on the move. Now, price then managed to break this trend line with a very impulsive 1-hour candle, breaking the double bottom structure as well, before eventually coming down to fulfill that negative 27 Fibonacci target. So that was a very, very excellent trade, nice and clean. And then we saw an initial pullback to retest this trend line. There's another opportunity to short in here, but this took place at 3 in the morning, so none of us really would have got in on that, and we've seen another impulsive move to the downside. Now, moving on to pound yen. From a daily perspective, I'm just going to clear off this chart and show you exactly what my thinking was each step of the way. The first and most important thing that we noticed, if I go into my journal, you can see that we were long pound yen earlier in the week, right? So I was long pound yen from this level, and I closed out at 135.50 region. And the reason we closed out there is simply because we had, and at this 135.50, where are we? And around here, we had some significant structure to the left, forming some support and resistance there. And I believe that price wouldn't manage to break that, certainly in this one move. So we took a very short-term buy position, and we determined that our overall long target would be 137. Now, this 137 level lies right in around here. Coordinates, let's just make that 137. And template, we can make that take profit. So that 137 handle lines up with this area of structure here and this 61.8 fib. So I'm just going to hide every other fib level, as we don't really need them at the minute. And we expect price to come up to that 137. Now, as I say, we did close out our trade at 135.50, and then dropping down onto the 4-hour, we began to see opportunities to actually take this short. Now, I can show you that now. We saw a little bit of commitment to the downside. If we take you onto a daily time frame, I will mark out we had a sort of recent significant high here, which I believed price would actually respect. I'll just bring you forward. We had a wick down through it on daily candle. Price broke the structure, it broke the EMA, and it formed a correction. We highlighted out this area of structure into the left. And with Fibonacci tool from this high to this low, we determined this 61.8 to be our highest probability area to sell from. So we simply got involved in a sell, as you can see here, from this retest of the structure with our stop loss above that 78.60. So just add that back in. We were looking to short from the 61.8, stop loss above the 78.60, and we were actually looking to ride it down to this negative 27 target. Now you can see again, price comes back to entry 2 or 3 times. If you'd move your stop loss to entry here, you would have been taken out, you would have missed this move. And then throughout the day yesterday, we saw a little bit of commitment to the downside. Now, I actually made the call, if I go over to my journal, I actually made the call to close out at this double bottom region. if you saw yesterday's clip when you saw me closing out, I said I wasn't feeling too great. And the other thing that I noticed was we got a swing failure of this low, as in this 1 hour candle penetrated the low and then didn't manage to close through it. So when the next candle pushed down, I simply closed out on the bottom of that wick before we saw that sort of sharp reversal. Now, I still do believe that there's potential for price to come back down and meet this overall target, but we're nearing the end of the week. I didn't want to be in that trade any longer, and I took this as a nice exit signal. All in all, across these two trades, we bagged 2%. I was only in them for 0.5% risk each, so 2% and 1% risk, that's still a 1 to 2, and we're up over 5% for the past couple of weeks anyway. So that's a very, very simple, very, very quick breakdown of those two trades on pound yen and euro dollar. If you do have any questions, be sure to let me know. So as it happens, the only other guy in at the minute is actually a US 30 trader, and although social distancing measures are still in place, whenever we run into each other in the kitchen, we always end up talking about the US 30 and oil. So I've come out and he's left me a box of biscuits and says something to cheer us up on a Friday, and then PS, he's left a little note about what he's looking at on US 30, so I thought that was pretty awesome. Okay, so I'm just getting ready to head home now. It's around about 10 to 2 and I've finished everything I need to do for the day. So if you have enjoyed the video, please be sure to subscribe and drop it a like. And if you want to stay in touch with me at the moment, Instagram happens to be the best way to do that. YouTube and email are just seem to be a bit overlogged, so you can get me on Instagram at sam_cav. Drop me a follow. You're going to see a lot of day in the life stuff on there anyway. I'm constantly posting on my story, so if you want to stay in touch, that's the best way. Just do expect a couple of days delay. But thanks as always for watching, and enjoy your weekend, guys.